All right. Welcome to the show. This is Revolution Radio. So where you guys are listening to now, we're actually not live yet. We're about to be live. This is through one of the commercials.
Okay, I know what you're talking
And
about.
what we're doing now is when we have to take these commercial breaks, these mandatory breaks, we're talking to you guys and we're going to break down our summaries of stories or tell you behind the scenes shit that's going on, anything of that nature. So I just thought I would start out that way by kind of showing you guys our new format. I know Friday was just a massive train wreck.
So bad.
But I do appreciate everyone who got a hold of me and was like, "You turned that shit around," and it was just me. So
Up.
I'm not saying Tanya made things worse. She didn't. It was just getting to know the format better. And at the moment, this thing works easier as a single person show with this format. But we'll figure it out. We'll get better into it. Anyway, so you're gonna hear one of us introduce the show, and we're gonna be starting very, very soon, like in a few seconds. And
Hello and welcome to Monday afternoon, Monday evening, whatever the hell you want to call it. I am Tanya, and this is Revolution Radio with Cody.
God,
Hi,
that was
baby.
awful.
I was not prepared for him to do his thing.
I'm a little thrown off too, to be
It took me a
honest.
second. So, Cody.
yeah, you should get thrown off by something else that, like, for the next minute and a half, you're not hearing any. They're hearing us talk over a commercial because the automatic play thing
Over a
Yeah.
commercial?
froze.
Over a commercial?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it's still running the commercial because
Oh shit.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and it was probably arguably my fault as much as anyone else because I waited to the last minute to turn the autoplay off.
No, I don't consider it that. Hi, Cody. How are you? Welcome back.
Great, thanks. Good to be back. I'm still a little confused. Are we live?
Technically,
Yeah, we are.
Technically.
We are live with help from Lowe's. I'm assuming it's Lowe's.
What in
I
God's
don't know.
name
I
are
haven't
you-
listened to the commercials.
The one
don't
I
know.
listened to was, it was something, but I thought it was Lowe's. I don't think it was Lowe's. Maybe Menards.
I think that's all from the app.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't listened to.
Because that you've
So,
had the thing.
I'm
way
gonna
over
say something
there.
that's like really probably not good for Live 365 and all that,
Shit.
but it's been too confusing for me to find.
Oh my God, I know, right?
Like I've tried a little
That's
bit, and I'll be honest. Like Friday, I was in a really bad mood as was, so I didn't. And that was the last time I could hear anything on Live 365 was Friday night.
I don't blame you. I mean, it's hard. Cody, have you tried listening to Live 365?
No, I haven't.
Yep.
The app is hard to find? Or the show?
Well,
Yes.
no,
Oh.
Yes.
no,
Yes.
No, what?
I don't know.
Basically, anything that you say, he's just gonna be the opposite, no matter what. No matter what.
I mean,
yeah,
it's only been like that for 4 years. But
It-
it's all right.
it's interesting.
Well,
we
you know, if
compliment each other.
any of you guys want, you could be over here, and you could do the daily things with, daily check-ins with Will and all that stuff, and
No.
if you guys, I mean,
Absolutely not.
look, you know, and the covering, the doing an hour by yourself, you guys could totally do all of that if you want. I would be
Absolutely
so
not.
happy
Look,
to not do that because
look,
you know how much I
we're
get
not
paid
making fun
to
of
do
you.
this.
We're
You know
not
I make
making
just a
fun of
fuck
you.
ton of money to be right
You're
back here.
such a dick. So,
Because I
have-
also should say I fucked up again.
What'd
What
you
did
do
you
now?
So the
Oh.
first half we were on air. The second commercial we were not. So now we're on air.
How long have we actually
Oh
been
my
live?
God.
Okay,
welcome
correct me
to
if
Revolution
correct me if I'm
Radio.
wrong. Isn't the input used to be green?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not. It's red when we're on.
Oh my God.
I'm so confused now.
Servers.
Right?
Okay, so over the weekend, I received a couple of emails about the show we did on Friday. A lot about the show we did on Friday.
Did you get any like people talking about how awesome I was by myself?
I can neither confirm nor deny. So
So
suck it.
yes.
Shut up.
Did you? I thought both of you were here on Friday.
Oh no, somebody had to leave.
I had to leave.
When?
to go watch a basketball game.
At
At
6.
6, yeah.
A basketball game, and her daughter was not even dancing yet. Just had to go watch.
Then why'd you go watch it? You have no loyalty.
Are you done?
Hmm?
Are you done?
No.
Yes.
I'm
No?
done.
So one of the articles and the things that we talked about on Friday was the comatose woman who had a baby. As of today, there are no updates. So I really want our listeners to understand there have been no updates.
I tried to find more information about it, and
There's
I couldn't
nothing.
find anything.
Yeah, what we reported on Friday is still what's being said today. A lot more news channels and a bunch of other, I know the Washington Post is trying to find out more information. That's all the information there is. We don't know what happened to the infant. We don't know if the woman's family's been notified. Nothing has been said. The only thing that I do know is that the nursing home has issued a statement that no one is allowed to talk about it until their lawyers give them permission. So, as of right now, we really don't have any follow-up information. And it's frustrating to all of us, so I'm sorry, guys. There's really nothing we can do.
So the talk that I found
Ooh.
was that the administration, like the higher ups, their sponsors, their funder, the investors,
Mm-hmm.
they had no idea about it.
Nope.
And so their actual like managers or admin people are now trying to cover their tracks because they did know about it. And
For like
They were
8 days.
it was a debate of what are we going to do with this baby.
Yes.
Like, I'm not going to put words into anyone's mouth, but I can say that I've been told that somebody was thinking about, like, eliminating the child.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's a really dark story to begin with, and it just doesn't get better.
And for
it
anyone
really
who,
doesn't.
well, and I can't cite sources on this because what I did is I looked at where this happened, right?
Yes.
And then I searched on Facebook to find anyone who worked there. I contacted somebody who may or may not have been an RN that worked there, and I contacted them through Facebook, and they have given me some information as much as they felt like they could, but they also didn't
Yeah.
trust me 100% because I thought
Because-
maybe
Yeah,
I worked for
right?
maybe I worked for
You're
the
kinda
investors,
shady.
maybe yeah. But so I
yeah,
had
but
to like
mean,
send a
that's
bunch of
basically-
credentials and be like, see, I wouldn't just make up this
Right.
site. It's been going on for a while.
But no, I mean that's basically all the information that's been released so far. It's a very sad story, guys, and I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah, they were really planning on making it a dumpster baby, but then they thought DNA is going to lead back since she had her
Exactly,
issue.
because, yes,
it would have been
she's-
highly on record, and it'd been impossible to like. Well, how is this her baby?
Exactly.
That really makes me question the type of care they get there. Like for 9 months, this chick was pregnant.
and nobody knew.
Nobody noticed anything different.
Well,
But see, I feel like they probably give excellent care
So you don't notice.
because
here it goes.
well, if you
Oh,
have
God. Please don't turn this dark.
no, but if
A
you're
free happy ending.
He doesn't understand why this is such a big news story for our listeners. He wasn't here Friday.
and and at that I did, but I still don't see why it's that
I
big
don't
of a
either.
story. I mean,
It wasn't.
it's interesting at the best, but as far as the care that they give, so if you get pregnant, correct me if I'm wrong, you have to go to the doctor like every 3 weeks.
Yes. Yes.
All the time. They're checking this, that. They're going to make sure that you're getting enough nutrients and all that shit, right?
Yes.
So they did that. This nursing home did that for this woman. Like, she gave birth to a healthy baby. So I'm saying they have to be given at least decent care.
Because the look on Cody's face. On Friday, this article popped up like an hour before we went live. So I talked about it and gave the information. Well, we had a few problems. Every message, call, anything we got. So can we talk about fucking the coma woman?
God.
We were like, okay, haha. No. 23 people
Jesus
asked about
Christ.
fucking the coma
Who
woman.
cares that much? Like, I get it, but just listen and you'll get the story.
No, like,
Sweet
is it
fuck.
legal? Can you just go into any nursing home and request a coma patient? What's the difference between a coma patient and a... It got dark.
Wow. Wait, but is it legal? Can I request a coma patient? I'm not saying I would. I'm just saying if the possibility's there, it's a good backup plan.
It's not that it was illegal, because technically one of our listeners said that she couldn't say no, but she couldn't really say yes either.
But she couldn't say no.
She couldn't say no.
You know,
Yeah, it was interesting.
Mumble twice. I'll take that as a yes.
I don't think you're wrong. I mean,
I still don't know what the big deal is.
I don't know. I mean, it's not. The first time you read it and listen to it, then it's like, oh wow, that's kind of fucked up. But at this point, I don't know. I'm just over it.
well, and to go along with Jay's point of view, what he is learning, our next story comes from Troup County, which should be in Georgia, I think. Yeah, it is. It's Troup County, Georgia. Yesterday it was discovered at 320 on Boy Scout Road off of New Franklin Road, a cooler. And I want to show, I don't think they have the cooler picture up anymore. They did take it down. It's one of those zip-up coolers. It's like yay big.
That you carry organs in.
Kind of. It's soft and squishy. Light pink. It had blue hearts on it. Had been sitting on the side of the road on Boy Scout Road, which is just amazing to me that that's the name, since before Christmas. Yesterday, the police were called because it smelled funny, and they did find a deceased infant in it.
Oh,
Jesus.
How long it's been sitting on the side of the road is up for questioning, because a lot of people claim it's been there since before Christmas. Tomorrow, the state of Georgia has taken the corpse, and they will be performing an autopsy to discover, how old was this child? Because it fit in a tiny little cooler. And was it born alive? Was it dead? So hopefully we'll have more information out on that.
Interesting. Out there
Right?
on Boy Scout Road.
you really like to bring up just dark stuff,
Yeah.
don't you?
I've
I
gotten a couple
take it
comments
dark.
that like every single story you bring to the table is like super depressing. Every single one.
Not everyone has been
No,
depressing.
every single one.
No, because I have them here. They're not old.
I do want to give an update on another story that we brought up before.
Okay.
Centoya.
Centoya.
Centoya. I always have a hard time saying her name. Centoya Brown, the 16-year-old who was found guilty and
Yes.
sentenced to 51 years of murder. She has been granted clemency from.
She's 17 now, though.
Right, when she was 16, that was when.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she was granted clemency from Governor Bill Haslam. And basically, she is sentenced to parole, but there'll be another hearing on August 7th.
Yeah.
To determine what they're actually going to do. And in that was one of those cases that was really convoluted because, for one, if I was the lawyer, I would have used Stand Your Ground, because for some reason Stand Your Ground works for white people.
Yeah.
But they're white, and you
And-
can't go wrong with white.
Right, and I've heard so many people's different takes on this. It's amazing. Either way, I think the 51 years was way too severe.
It's a little out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 51 years. That's basically a whole lifetime for people.
No, exactly. And at 16, 17, that's
Right?
your life. I mean, she wouldn't get out till she's at least in her late 60s, early 70s, and
Completely
if she'd ever
ridiculous to
get out,
begin
has
with.
no idea how to even live life as an adult.
Yeah.
So the fact that all the advocacy groups and all the people who have been fighting for that, it's really good to see that they're able to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll keep you updated on that as well.
I
as
do.
that
I think that's
goes
great
on.
that she was at least granted clemency. Something needs to happen to this kid.
She's playing at what?
Clemency. So, Centoya, really? So, 2 weeks ago, we talked about private militia groups and how they're hired and outsourced from the United States. Jay talked about where a lot of the militia group, well, the main militia group that President Trump is wanting to employ.
I'm having issues with your terminology though. It's not. They're not a militia group.
They're considered private militias, yes.
I mean, they're private militaries.
Well,
Militias are typically
They're mercenaries.
exactly,
Basically.
but that's what they're being considered when President Trump talks about them.
I mean, I don't know. Like militias are typically those who are there to oppose their own government.
Well, we can only hope.
Yeah, I mean,
But we did. We talked about how a lot of these private military groups are being paid by the United States government, how they're supposed to be protecting the soldiers, how they're being forced to steal children. You know, there's just a lot going on. Well, according to NPR, it has been discovered that on October 2nd, one of the private military groups was given $13.6 million. And this was for customs and border protection. And they paid the firm for extra soldiers and extra protection because, as President Trump likes to say, we need protection because of all the crazy Mexicans.
I think it's a fair point.
They hired 2 people. 2. And nobody knows. It was October 1st that this audit found it. Due to the fact that now, you know, the IRS is not getting paid and they're still working, the IRS has brought it to attention of the United States that you gave $13.6 million in May to this group who hired 2 people. Where is the money?
Maybe they were worth $6 billion,
$6
$6.5 billion
million.
apiece.
They must be really good military.
They are. Didn't you know who they got? They got Rambo and Predator.
They
God,
got
that
those
would be
guys from
amazing.
Army of Two.
Yeah, that's all they needed. They
Right? I mean,
like. Well, seriously, if you were in a military, if you owned a military group, how much would you pay Predator to be on your team?
oh,
He's
God.
gonna cost a lot of money.
I would. That'd be some money. Like, how do you even get a hold of him? Because I kind of want. I'm kind of interested.
Or
It's
if
the
you needed,
dreadlocks.
if you needed Rambo, like First Blood Rambo.
First blood. Isn't he like geriatric Rambo now? He's got a cane.
No.
Have you seen one of like? Well, and I say newest. I think it was probably a decade old. But the newest Rambo was fucking badass.
Was
Yeah.
it really?
Yeah. Anyway, go on. Because I'm sure. Well, I mean, even that, like 6 million, isn't. That sounds insane to any of us, but for probably someone running it,
Well, and that was,
you know.
and it's an interesting story because the IRS is now looking further into how many military or private military groups have you given money to and how many people were hired. But how do you explain this? Just 2 people.
Do you think it's fair to pin that on Trump?
I don't know. I don't see Trump going around going, yo, I want this group there now. Because I feel like he's dumb and he wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, I don't think
Somebody
so.
has to control his Twitter account. That is what Trump is doing right now. He is all about Twitter.
What, now? He's been about all about Twitter since like 2013.
Which is insane.
I know. But I mean, yeah, like to go along with what you're saying, I agree because that's really backdoor kind of activity that, you know, you would see out of, I don't know, a John Kelly or, you know, Mike Pompeo or even Betsy DeVos. But I don't really expect it out of Trump. Like, the whole
Yeah.
reason why like,
and it's not
the whole reason why
saying-
like Kelly even left was like because Trump was like just on a whim. He was like, "Let's get out of Syria," without telling anybody.
Well, there's no point in being
He
in
had-
Syria. I mean,
Which I agree. I'm on his side on that. Like I really am. And apparently, you know, other good Trump news, Mike Pompeo and Bolton have said that they have talked to Turkey, and Turkey is going to sign an agreement where they will not use any of our weapons against the Kurds
well,
as we
I
pull
mean,
out, which is what we want. That's exactly
it's kind
what
of
we,
a
that's
good thing.
kind of. How is it a bad thing?
But okay, so
See, like that's my thing. Like, how is it a bad thing?
okay, what did you just say though? Not our weapons.
Right. But we can't control. See, we get into these things where like we can't control what other countries are doing with their
That's true.
weaponry, or who they hate. I mean, it's more like policing the globe, which we don't want. And as progressives, we don't want violence.
Yeah.
You don't want wars for no reason. pulling out of Syria is like the best thing that we could do. But it's just like the complexity of all of that, and especially when you're talking about privatized military, I just don't think Trump even has it.
I
Trump,
don't think
Trump
he
is
knows.
going off on like the wall, and I don't think he gives a shit about anything else but that.
The
I-
wall that he's not getting funding for anymore.
Right. I mean, I really,
Yeah.
I don't think he has.
I don't
it's
think
like
this
deeper
is a,
mind about.
No,
Like,
I don't think it's a Trump thing. I think it's more of a I'm going to hire this company so we don't have to do it thing.
right, right. Or I'm just gonna let Bolton run all this, and I'm gonna.
You know, there's
I'm
no
back here.
There's no checkups. There's no making sure funds are going where they're supposed to. I mean,
And I think
what's
a lot
the point?
honestly, I think a lot of presidents do that because
Probably.
how deep can I'm sure you are at least in better communication with your people and you're checking with your like Obama.
You would think.
Obama said he worked like on average 18 hours a day, and he said it was like a different work you've never experienced. He's like, because you're not like sweating. And he's
No.
like, but it's just there's always someone talking. You're always getting information. You're always, he's like most of the time, it's multiple choice.
Well, and I mean,
Your
I could see
advisors will
that.
say, hey, look, we got a penguin-sized comet heading directly to, I don't know, Uruguay. Should we do something about it? A. Should we send the military and announce?
Well, and
or
I'm
should we just
probably-
keep our mouths shut?
I would think
You know?
that's how it would be. Instead of sending all these troops, which is going to cost us $30 million, why don't we take this amount and say, fucking do it. I don't care. I'm over here doing other shit. I mean, it's how you plan out your day. What is the most important? And I don't feel like $13.6 million is probably not the most important amount of money
No.
for someone.
No.
And if this is what you said, it was cheapest, whatever. Let me sign the paper. Oh, do you want my autograph? And we're done.
Well, and I'm sure that like a lot of it was, I don't know, for bullshit. You know what I mean? It was like greasing the palms of these,
MREs.
of these big contractors. I'm sure
Probably.
that's what it was. It was nothing more than that. But again, as much as I would like to blame that on Trump, I don't think
I
it
don't-
had
uh-uh.
anything to do with it because he probably doesn't even make the multiple choice decision.
No.
They probably come in, Trump, we got this and that, whatever. He's probably like talking to a high school kid.
Right?
That's on their phone.
He was probably making his memes, because that takes a while.
Yeah, that's probably what he was in the middle of doing. He had no time for answering real questions.
So speaking of Trump memes, I did find this hilarious. Have you seen his new? Well, your Twitter, you tweet with him. I know you love the Trump.
I do. We talk all the time.
He had a new meme come out on his Twitter account where his face is in the wall for Game of Thrones, and it says, "The wall is coming."
Yeah.
Well, in Twitter fashion, Twitter destroyed Trump. The number one comment to respond to Trump's face in a wall is, "You understand what happened to the wall? A big blue laser came and shot it to hell. The progressives are coming," which I thought was freaking hilarious. But
I mean, I would argue it wasn't a laser, but
no, it was a dead dragon. Let's be honest.
yeah, it's Ice Dragon.
So yeah, but it also brings up the fact that other countries are on Twitter. Seriously, this meme came from the United States president. Fuck America. As a person, how do you feel knowing that your president
It's a
isn't-
laughing
is
stock.
doing shit like this? Just making memes for fun. Like, there's nothing better he could be doing. Do you think it's his downtime? This is what he does.
It's probably what he's doing when he's watching Fox and Friends in the morning. I mean, but I don't know. It's really annoying because, I don't know. Did you catch his press briefing yesterday?
This is his new one. Sanctions are coming.
That was an old one.
Is this an old
Let
one?
me
Yeah,
see that.
it's an old
Oh,
one.
November 5th, you're right.
Yeah.
But this
But,
is
I
what
mean,
he does.
Jesus Christ.
He apparently likes Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Right?
He
Apparently.
does not see the lineup between him and Jamie Lannister. I don't know what. But like, I don't know. Yesterday during his press briefing, he was citing Fox News as information. Hey,
Really?
Doc, what are you doing? Like really, like it's not that it's even like we all know he watches all of the shows and whatever, but it's like you're citing a third-hand report. Like you
Right.
run the government who should have these reports.
Like,
You're
wasn't that put on your desk today?
Yeah,
For
like,
you to make a
don't you
comment
have
about.
someone to go to give you those numbers? Like that's where the
Hannity.
numbers come from. They have to deal with the government.
I'm sure Hannity wrote it up and was like, "Here, this is what you say now."
Right, like, but we have people that do consensus forms. We do have people that do polling.
Nah.
They're in our government. It's not Fox. Fox isn't the.
But they're busy posting the memes. Do you really think he did that himself?
It's just that.
It's too much effort. He
It's
can't
that
click
whole
and paste.
idea that it's just like, oh my god.
And it's not even that. It's Twitter. Thousands and thousands of people see this. Other countries, they know.
So why you did bring up the wall? Because that's been the main thing going on right now.
I guess. A fucking wall.
It's completely ridiculous. Like, it's so ridiculous. I just can't believe that this is where we're at in this country. Right?
It is.
Like,
It
can we,
really is.
like, it's one of those things that, like, as a non-religious person, when I see people, like, let's say, and I'm not trying to be, but you look at, like, the fundamentalist Muslims, and they're, like, hacking children apart because Allah, because they're, you know, I don't know, they watch TV for 5 minutes, and now they're not pure. You
Fuck
know,
you, Allah.
or a woman decides that she's not gonna, you know, hide her face, so let's stone her to death.
It happens.
I'm just like, that to me just boggles my mind. Like, I get your religion and I understand your faith, but I mean, come on, let's be honest. Like, can we just have like that let's real talk moment and be like,
No.
do you really think this is real? Like, do you buy all of that? I mean, and then that's where I come from, like the wall. When you talk to conservatives, when you really talk to me, like, do you really think the wall is going to help? Most of them are like, no. Like, but it's more of a statement. So you're willing to pay $150 billion in total for 2 years on a statement? Because, like, I mean, I don't know. We talked about a certain president we had before spending too much money. And if I remember right, it was actually Bolton on his Fox show that said in 2014, well, it doesn't seem that Obama has came far enough from the ghetto because he likes to spend our money to show his status.
You go, boy.
Okay, what are we doing with that wall? if that is not a broke ass guy driving a Lambo, I don't know what is.
I'm telling you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't need to spend that money. We don't have that money really to be
No.
farting around with. And when it comes down to it, everyone with a half a brain knows it's not gonna do shit.
I want my own brick, though. I really do.
I just don't like how do immigrants get in this country?
Well, as Fox
No,
News.
no, you.
Me?
You.
How did I
You've
get
been
here?
there.
No, your opinion. How do illegal immigrants, get in this country?
Well, the number one way is you cross the border. And it depends on which border, because normally I would say let's come out on an airplane, because then you're granted everything right away.
Right. I mean, I'm
But
saying
for like my grandpa,
no. By number, how many? The majority of illegal immigrants.
they come from the northern border.
Not where, but how.
Can I take a stab at it?
Yeah,
Their visa expires.
exactly. 85%
Oh, that's what he was looking
Yeah.
for. I was like,
overstay
oh.
their work visas,
Which
are
is
granted,
true.
and you're granted that visa.
Yes.
So the wall wouldn't stop you.
No. Although they
The-
did stop granting those visas.
Well, all but
certain.
yeah, as
If you
another
work at a
story
certain-
broke, yeah, Donald Trump actually has an exceeding amount of work, but they're gonna have to. We can't be a country.
Which, if we're being honest, the reason 90% of those visas expired is because the government expired them early. and made it a law that you had to go back to your country to be reissued new visas with your new IDs.
Yeah, I mean, which is another thing all in itself.
Yeah.
But my point is they always say, and I've heard everyone from Trump to Hannity to Mark Levin all say, well, if they came here the right way, then we have no problem with them.
They did.
They are.
They are here the right
That's
way.
the thing. Like, even the caravan, they're coming here
The right
the
way.
right way.
Like
They're
they
not
stop at
trying
the
to-
border. Can I just come in, say hi, work for you? No.
No. I mean, it's like, and I almost want to ask them, and the thing is, I know the answer, by the way, but I almost want to ask them, have you been through the border checkpoints? They're not fucking around.
No.
They've got a dog around. They
They
check
have
your
mirrors.
car.
They
yeah.
do the metal detection.
Yeah, they do not fuck around. Now, if you build a tunnel, you have no problems. You're totally good. Which, by the way, wall wouldn't stop a goddamn tunnel.
Which
But
we've seen the tunnels, which are fucking amazing. I'm sorry, they're hand dug,
they're-
and they're that
There's
amazing.
a lot of work that goes.
I would live in
I
one of
wouldn't
those
say they're
tunnels.
hand dug, but
I would live in one. They're amazing.
I bet you most of them are machine. I mean, we're talking. I mean, cartel leaders with
$13.6 million.
millions of right. Those are the ones building these things. So, but
I think they're amazing.
it just, if you ask them too, they would say, "Yeah, this isn't going to do shit." If you got Hannity in a room, if you got Donald Trump in a room, without cameras, microphones, you cannot be so stupid to think this is actually going to stop it. And I don't think he does.
Well,
I don't
that's why
think he
we're
believes
having a
it at all.
shutdown.
No, see
Because he's so stupid.
here's why we're having a shutdown.
Please enlighten me.
Because he wants to prove that he can get it done for his base.
It's going to make his dick an inch bigger.
It's going to make 2020 easier for him.
You think so?
That's the only reason. And
I know I'm voting for
any
him.
Democrat that caves on that, he's going to use that. Like, how many times did you hear before the shutdown, this is going to be the Trump shutdown? I'll take it on my mantle, right?
Which is amazing because he's not calling it a shutdown
no.
anymore.
Well, and he didn't even say,
He's not calling it his shutdown either.
No,
No, he's
no.
calling it a strike.
At first, he called it the Schumer shutdown.
He
then
did.
the Pelosi shutdown. Then, well, the shutdown will end whenever the Dems want to.
Democrats own it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is the same thing. He's going to say, look, we'll make a deal, and look, I'm not going to bring it up in your face during the campaign. And Pelosi or someone like that will have enough people, because contractors are the ones who are not getting paid, and they're not getting paid back time. So you're going to have
Correct.
enough contractors who pay Nancy Pelosi, and they're gonna be like, look, bitch, I don't care what you do.
Look, bitch.
Get this shutdown done because I need my money. And she is just, a sheep of the money herself. So she'll be like, okay, but I don't want to hurt my chances and they'll say, and that's when Trump will say, we'll compromise and I won't bring it up. Then in 2019 and 2020, when they're all campaigning, he's gonna say, look, the Dems are so weak they couldn't even stand up against the wall.
I agree. I don't know, but I really think you should be like backing off of Betsy
On Live
DeVos.
365?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on Live 365.
I just got told all they hear is music. Sorry, not to like derail this, but I just wanted to make sure.
Because I'm planning on like adopting a bunch of kids from Betsy DeVos.
Well, it's cool.
So don't talk about her or her brother or the fact that her uncle's doing shit either. Can we stay away from the DeVos family?
It's
I'm
cool
working
though,
with them.
because Trump can relate with all those 800,000 people who aren't getting paid. He can relate. He understands. They just need to make
Which-
adjustments.
And I mean, I get what he's saying with he can relate because it was discovered that he donated his last paycheck to, was it the parks?
Trump?
Yes. Was
He-
it parks?
He donated to parks?
No, he donated it to. Shit. Let me look this up because he did donate his last paycheck, which I will give him
Wait, paycheck from what?
for last month.
From being president?
Yes.
I thought he was working for free.
No, that was he wanted to work for free, but the people demanded he get paid.
Right.
So that's why he's donated. I think this is the third time he's donated a paycheck.
Okay.
Um,
Just wanted to make sure.
I'm trying to think because it was a certain department. Let me look this up because I don't want to give out the wrong information.
It wasn't education, I can tell you that.
I'll tell you someone else who's not educated. Whoever your
I have no idea.
your friends are.
We are on live, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we are. We're
no
good.
problem.
Okay.
Cody just wanted to throw a monkey wrench in
I guess.
the in the gears for some odd reason. But no, it doesn't make. I'm just saying, like, we got to the real talk of the wall. It's not going to do anything. So why are we
So-
letting it affect all this?
Today, I heard from several people that President Trump donated his salary, his paycheck, which he gets paid quarterly,
I'm surprised
To-
he's doing that.
to veterans programs. Fact checker and Snopes just announced that's not true. He was going to, but the government shut down, so he can't. I kid you not.
Does he think that we're dumb enough to believe that he doesn't get paid? We know he gets paid. They all get paid.
Which I know the first paycheck he did donate, that was to the Parks Department or the Parks. But what he did do, and I don't think people got, because that was the first paycheck he received a year ago, that was a tax write-off because he donated it.
Yeah.
So, and that did come out with the last year's taxes. That was a donation. So it was technically a write-off. But no, he cannot donate in this one because the government shut down.
I mean,
he fucking shut the government down, though.
Well, and to be like, well, they're not working. Yeah, they are, because you're all still getting paid.
God, he's
Like, they're
such a
all
dick.
like, that's one of the big arguments that a lot of people said. The thing that got me too is that he went on and he was like, well, all the people not getting paid, they understand and they want me.
They don't
to-
understand.
And here's my thing. Did they really?
Yeah,
Who have you talked to?
Yeah, and I'm sorry. I've brought this up to a few hardcore Republicans, and I was just like, so how do you feel about, like, not getting your tax returns this
They're
season?
pissed.
Yeah,
And they're
they're
like,
pissed.
well, one of them was like, what do you mean? I was like,
You
well, you're
don't.
not getting your tax return until the shutdown's over. And they're like, well, why?
'Cause
I'm like,
the
I'm like, okay,
IRS
you're
is
fucking
shut
retarded. I
down.
was just like, you're retarded. Never mind. I'm sorry. Forget it. But, like, yeah, it's like, so you're unhappy that you're not going to get your tax returns, as you should be.
Right.
Fair. Okay, but this is your president. You wanted this.
But and those
Exactly.
those same people are like, well, yeah, but it's okay for these other people to not get a fucking paycheck.
right.
Exactly.
Right.
If you're
That's
not-
ridiculous.
If you haven't been paid for 2.5 weeks, yeah, you're hurting really bad.
Yeah.
The average person can only they can't even withstand like a $400 hit to
Yeah.
that they make in a month. Let alone you're not making it at all. And I saw something on Mark Levin last night, and it really, oh God, he said. He was like, well, a lot of these government workers, they make like $100,000-$200,000 a year. Do they?
Do they really?
Like, if you go to the TSA, you're
think
telling me
so.
all those guys are making
I don't
100,
think so.
200,000? Yeah, I kind of don't think
I
so.
don't think TSA agents would get paid $100,000 a year
don't
and
think
stand
so.
there to get screamed at by everybody who goes through. I've seen TSA agents get yelled at. It gets brutal.
No, but they make less.
They do.
They make probably 30 or 40.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they don't make no 100,000. I mean, he's like trying to paint this picture that all government workers, your trash man, yeah, that dude, he's making 100,000 a year. Yeah, you think he could afford to, different clothes? I'm just
Right.
saying, like, it
that
would
one
be
needs a fucking haircut if he's making 100,000 a year and a
It-
fucking bath.
it would be the job that people would want. They'd be like, oh fuck, I want to
Yeah.
be a postal service. Do you hear how much postal guys get? Get
That's
200,000 a year. No, they don't. They make a decent living. It's
We
a-
have the same postman guy. I
yeah,
mean,
he
no,
makes like
he doesn't.
35 or 40 a year, which is decent.
He still stops by my house after every shift. Can I have a bottle of water? Fucking take it. It's why it's there. Don't tell me he makes that much. I give him water.
You don't make no 200,000 a year. But yeah, so all these, I don't know, these people who are like, in Trump saying that they'll make adjustments.
No, I don't.
What did you
Yeah.
can't make adjustments when you don't have shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I guess Timmy's just not gonna have medicine.
Right.
That's the adjustment that
And
he
you-
is making.
So he went further on to say, well, I was a landlord, and a lot of times,
He was a landlord.
yeah, when
He
he owned
was.
all those buildings and stuff, he said a lot of
Jesus.
times, people, you hear things as a landlord, and you know what's going on in the economy, and so sometimes, you'll give breaks to your tenants.
What?
So, Rebel HQ fact checked that and showed that Donald Trump was actually the biggest dick about not giving. After 9/11 happened, people couldn't go to work for like 3 months in that area, who worked in
because
that area.
it was all shut down. Yeah.
Yeah. He ended up evicting over 200 people from his different apartments because they worked down there and just couldn't work.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, dude. If I didn't pay my rent for 3 months, I wouldn't have a house.
Exactly.
I can't think of many tenants or
I-
landlords who would do that.
Yeah, no, I don't know any.
So we did talk about months ago when I was trying to find good things about President Trump. When singer and actress Jennifer Hudson's family was murdered,
Yeah, he did do something about
he
that.
let her live in Trump Towers for free for a full year, and he gave her money because her family was all murdered.
Probably keep her quiet, you know what I mean?
It was a tax write-off.
Oh, yeah.
He used her as a tax write-off, which then she had to pay taxes on all the money
God.
that he gave her.
I mean, that's kind of an Oprah thing to do.
You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, honestly,
Thanks.
Oprah does the same shit.
Yeah.
that's true.
Here's a
but,
car,
oh
now pay
God.
the taxes on it.
Right.
I
Have fun
didn't-
driving that fucker.
I didn't want a RAV4. It's a piece of shit.
You can keep that. So yeah,
But no,
I don't know.
it's just the audacity, and that and like you were saying, Cody, like he says that he can he can sympathize with them, and he
No,
can
you
understand.
can't.
No, dude, since you were fucking 8, you've been making $1 million a year at minimum.
do you know
from
what
your
I made
daddy.
at 8? Not a goddamn thing. That's what I made at 8.
I don't think I've made $1 million yet.
No, I doubt it. I'm sure I haven't.
I think between the three of us, we haven't made $1 million.
Probably not.
No.
I don't even think between the three of us, we've made 100,000. I
Well,
mean,
Well, no,
not-
I
not
isn't
we
that how
made
much our
100,000.
contracts are? Never mind.
That's like, we'll take it back.
Wait, what contracts? You guys are getting paid?
So yeah, no, I do. But that was latest, and I find it interesting that it's less than 10 hours later. And not entirely true that he can't donate his paycheck because the government shut down.
You know what? My
Which there again is bullshit because he could.
You know what my favorite picture has been so far, though? Is a picture in one of the most recent meetings. The article was just talking about how, we're moving to end the shutdown, open it all back up and stuff without funding for the wall. And Trump is literally sitting at the table with his arms crossed, just like, it's the best thing. You
I
can
support
tell.
that one.
You can tell he's mad.
He is, yeah, and he said it was a good meeting, productive meeting.
Oh.
That's what it looks like to me.
And he, yesterday in his briefing, he said that he might use, he might say it's an emergency. Trying to get the proper term. A national security
It's a
issue.
national emergency.
Yeah, and he might use that to pay for the wall. The thing is, he won't.
He's already
No.
trying to.
He's threatening it.
No, he's trying to. He's not threatening it. He's enacting on it.
If he, I'll tell you why. That if he did, it
It would backfire.
would backfire horribly.
Oh yeah, there's legal stuff that goes into that
Yeah,
they would have to look
Not
into.
just that, but that comes out of the military spending,
Yeah, that's true.
and that, I mean,
Well,
which
where-
there again, if they want to do that, I guess I'm fine with that.
What
Like,
kind of fucking president child is seriously willing to shut down the government and then declare national emergency because he's not getting what he wanted? How fucking worthless are you?
yeah,
Pretty
no, I
fucking
know, I
worthless.
know. And then if he does, but again, I don't think he will, and I'm sure his advisors are telling him the same thing. Like, dude, if you do this, you know that they're going to use that against you,
Oh yeah.
and
Well,
it's
you know,
coming
I was going to
directly out of-
donate $100,000 to the public zoos, but the government shut down, so I can't.
Fuck the monkeys.
But anytime you pull money out of the government or out of the military, people get mad.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and they wouldn't put up with it. So I
Well,
don't think
guess
he will
what?
do that. I don't think he'll do it once he finds out.
Well, and I think that's probably why he announced he was donating it to the National Veterans Association, because you just shut down a lot of vet hospitals.
Right, right,
Oh,
and
that's
it
a
makes
And now
too.
you can't donate it because you shut the government down.
that's what he's again. That's what he says, but you damn well know he got his direct deposit in
Exactly.
his account. Of course he did.
The
I mean, 'cause-
Smithsonian and the National Zoo are still closed on day 17 of our shutdown. And they did announce that they are still running full staff and their staff is not getting paid. Which
Is
is,
that such a big deal though?
here's the thing about the national zoos. It kind of is because if nobody's at work,
It's not like we have a T-Rex in there though,
that would be amazing.
right?
It'd be pretty
Just fucking
badass.
open the doors and be like, there, your government shut down. Fuck you.
Nah, but like all the animals who are dying.
I mean, they're getting fed. People are gonna let them die.
Well, you know, we had, what, 2 different
They
rhinos
Who's
go.
gonna feed them if no one's there?
Exactly. Nobody's there.
The guys that actually work there, they develop a relationship with these animals. I
Yeah.
mean,
They're working without pay, yeah.
yeah, and they probably will, and they will be.
That's true.
I'm just saying,
Well,
like,
I'm
as
glad
far
that
as it-
Trump can understand and feels
right,
like
right.
that.
No, they're definitely
Yeah, but if I was
heroes,
that guy
for
who
sure.
drove around on a golf cart and like emptied trash, I wouldn't be there.
No, that guy's probably not there.
No,
That dude's
fuck
not there.
No.
Even, I mean, I would argue how much of like the shit cleaner uppers are there. I
Oh,
mean,
Right?
none.
there's probably like a couple who,
Absolutely none.
are, you know, I mean, you almost have to be a little bit, but
Well, I mean, it was announced that in the national parks, because
Yeah.
they're closed, 17 people have died,
yeah.
and their bodies are still there.
From what?
The parks are closed.
What are they dying from? I'd heard
all-
that, but I never saw like.
Accidents.
Being too cold, being left out. There's no
Yeah.
running water.
There's
There's,
no running
nothing.
water. Yeah.
So they just die, and they're like, "Look, that person's dead. Government shut down, so we can't remove them. So they're still there."
Shit.
Day 17, and we are leaving bodies all over the place.
Well, what's even worse, and I mean, not that it's worse than the death of a person, but what's even worse is the amount of trash building up
Yeah.
in these places.
Is that not disgusting? Like,
Yeah, and human feces
Well,
and all that,
and
which
I-
is going to get into our water.
And I swear to
Once
God,
again.
I saw somebody share an article talking about just that. And you know what they said? Why can't people just clean up their trash? Okay, hang on. Stop, please,
They
before I have an aneurysm. They are, but no one's there to empty.
To dump the
right,
bin.
and to take care of the trash.
Yeah, yeah. No, they don't get.
It's
that.
not like you throw it in a trash can, just poof, it's gone. That's not how
mean-
that works.
it's not?
I guess you could be like, well, then people just shouldn't visit these
And I agree.
parks.
That's kind of where I'm at. I think that right now people shouldn't visit. Because otherwise, this is exactly what's going to continue to happen. People are going to keep dying, and the trash is going to keep building up.
Well, and how long can you leave these bodies and shit and trash before it's like,
It'd be fine.
The coyotes have probably
Yeah, I
gotten
mean, animals are probably eat 'em.
realistically, they're probably gone now.
The trash is a bigger problem.
Yeah.
To be, I mean, not to make light of
Coyote
anyone's
can eat
death.
flesh. It can't eat a milk carton.
Yeah,
you're not wrong, okay.
bigger
My
issue, I
bad.
would say. I mean, as far as what's
The
going
big
on.
picture.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I still think it's all. It's over a dumb wall, which we ultimately know won't help, won't do
No.
anything to. Even if you are against immigration of any form, even if you're like, you know what, I'm a racist asshole and I don't want anything like white is right and that's what I want in my country, you still would have to be like, this wall's not going to work.
Right? You,
It's not going to do anything.
Yeah,
good.
at
and-
some point, you need to admit, maybe
And I
this
don't
is a
know.
mistake.
Like, I see it and I share it almost every time I see it just because it's stupid, but it's also not. Let's say we built the wall down that southern border, right? Why can't people just float on over to Florida? I almost said Africa. Float on over to Florida or up around it in California.
Yeah, Louisiana,
Other side of Texas.
Yeah,
Even
there's
just the
that-
other side of Texas. Like, why?
California. Yeah, you could just float
I'm
on
just
into
saying,
San
like,
Diego.
It's not impossible.
No, it's super simple. And then again, I mean, if you have enough money to make the trip, you could probably save enough money for a plane ticket
Yeah.
and just fly in.
Right.
What's up? Hey, I'm in Milwaukee now. Not to mention the tunnels, which is another
Milwaukee, of all the places.
Just, yeah, I know you'd stick out like a sore thumb.
right?
Like, what the fuck's that?
I've never seen one
It's
of
like a
those.
brown marker
Oh,
and a
how you
bunch of
doing?
white markers.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but it it's just one of those things. Like, can we just have a real talk about this and cut the bullshit? And
Yeah.
like, we know that this is all just like a propaganda kind of thing. In fact, I heard from some actual Trump supporters, and so this is what one woman said, and I'll kind of run down the story and I'll get your take. So this is what she said. She said, when I was a little girl, my mom used to help immigrants, illegal immigrants. We lived on the border, and she would let them stay at her house. And she said, at any given time, there'd be 10 to 12 people sleeping on my living room floor. And she said, one of the times that this happened, when I was 5 years old, I was raped, and so was my 2-year-old sister. And she's saying, see, she's basically saying, yeah, a lot of them are rapists, and this bad stuff happens. And that's one of the stories they're using to say, yeah, see, build the wall.
For the people that are already here.
Well, they're immigrants. I mean,
You know what? Let's just shut down both borders and build 2 fucking walls and call it
But
good.
they
Gotta keep
asked
the
her-
snow Mexicans out.
they asked her, they said, why, well, whatever happened to this guy? Was he? And she's like, oh, he went back to Mexico, so they never prosecuted him.
Oh, okay. So he's back where he should be.
Well, my question, I guess, there's 3 things I go into when I think about this. Number 1, so you're telling me this dude is like, I'm sneaking over the border, I'm coming into America to rape a 5-year-old white girl, and then I'm going back to Mexico.
Which,
Like,
that's
what?
kind of shifty there.
There's a fuck ton of taken care for 5-year-olds in Mexico.
Did
If
they
he's
probably
looking,
hire him to work in Brownsville at Tent City? I mean,
I'm
he's
just
got
saying,
all
if he
the
wants to go
qualifications.
bone a bunch of 5-year-olds,
He likes variety, though.
I mean, so for me, that didn't make sense. Like, why would he just leave? Like, oh, I'm sneaking in. Holy shit, this is horrible. Oh, I'm going to touch a 5-year-old, and I'm out. Come on. Like, that doesn't change your plans. I mean, unless you get caught, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, the other thing that really was rather noticeable, to be on this one, too, is you could say, like, oh, man, that's really fucked up. But that the immigrants, these illegals, were doing that, or this one illegal was doing it. But you could also say, what the fuck's wrong with the mom?
Exactly.
If you have a bunch of strangers at your house, you're not gonna like make sure your kids are sleeping with you.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, it seems really fishy. Or
Yeah, I
she's a
don't get
really
that.
shitty mom who's just like getting boned by illegals all the time, and one of them ended up touching her daughter. You know what I'm saying? And then the third
I feel
thing.
like you're describing a person we know.
Yeah. And the third thing that I would say on this as well is kind of a defense, if you will, is people are just garbage.
They really are.
I mean, I'm not surprised that, I don't know, I'm not surprised anyone is a scumbag garbage person.
It's better just assume everyone is till you find
Yes.
out otherwise, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
Yeah, no, that's how I live my life, is that everyone is either, just completely clueless or they're scum.
Yeah.
Like, and then if you prove me wrong, then I
Right.
don't know.
But,
you can
you
be
know,
pleasantly surprised if you're wrong. I mean,
just because
Yeah, I mean,
one illegal comes in, and I'm not, I don't know, talking down what happened,
right.
but just because one illegal came in and did that, that doesn't mean they're all here to do that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
I'm sorry, it was a shitty experience, and it sucks that it happened. Nobody deserves that, but that doesn't mean they're all like that.
and I don't know why.
And if he went back to Mexico, he probably did not intend to stay.
right,
As
right,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
It's just it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
Things don't add up. I mean, yeah, they want to call.
You're gonna go
out-
all that way and all that trouble just for a 5-year-old,
I
and then you're
doubt
gonna
that.
dip out.
Yeah, like they
I'm
wanted
sorry.
to call out Ford because she couldn't remember stuff. And,
right.
well, that doesn't make sense. No, this doesn't make sense. I mean,
Yeah, and she was 5. Yeah.
I mean, I have my own feelings about this, but also. Your mom is just letting unadulterated men just like crash on your floor.
Yeah.
Some shit is gonna happen.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised there wasn't a knifing or something. I mean,
You know, the
That's the
Mexicans.
Mexican way to do it. Let's be
Right.
honest.
so yeah, I don't know. I must blame the mom. So then here's the other story that they're bringing up. So a couple, they've been married for I don't know how many years. They have 6 kids, and she's like, and she was saying, you know, financially it's tough right now. My two oldest aren't going to be able to go to college.
That
And-
happens.
My daughter is wants to have a wedding, but you know what? We want to give all of our money to the wall. That's the important thing, and that's why I
That's
stand
because
for America.
that's what I hear white people saying all the time.
What?
I'm going to give all my money to the wall.
I don't hear that many.
I don't.
I have heard one person say that, but not all white
Well,
people.
and see, the person that has said that, and that's where I think we need to discuss. She did technically say she would give all her money and everything to the wall.
It was your cousin, wasn't it?
No,
I see her as a type.
no, it wasn't. This was a white person, so no.
Oh.
Bitch, you have food stamps, you have WIC, and you were getting cash assistance. Government shut down, so what money are you going to give? I'm curious.
You don't make any.
Like, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna give him this pack of cigarettes I bought with my food stamps.
Well, your food stamps are done, so
Yeah.
government. I was gonna give her some money, but the government shut down, and now I
there's
can't.
just no currency.
Can't-
going
Sorry.
around.
Can't use it as a write-off. Sorry.
The banks are shut down. No one's got money going through. No, yeah. No, and in this situation too, like if this is a real family, what the fuck's wrong with you?
I'm-
Like, you're saying you're not gonna your two oldest kids are not gonna go to college,
Or get married because you're giving
and
your
then
money.
or get married on the third. So, but like, so you're willing to forfeit your kid's future. You're not gonna have a good job really without a college education. You're not, if you want to get married.
Yeah.
I mean, they might be saving her on the marriage thing because sounds like she's pretty young. Like, she'll never get married before 25. But, you're doing all that shit. And yet you're saying, but I want to give more money to Trump's wall.
I would donate
you're saying, fuck
$10,000 to
fuck
draw
my
a big
family.
ass on the wall that says "Suck it, Trump." Like I would donate to that.
That's not going to happen. Plus, you can't write on steel. It has to be concrete.
Spray paint.
You have to see through it.
Is it gonna be an invisible
You have to be able
wall?
to see through it.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, it has to be steel or concrete. I don't remember. He's having a problem debating.
Is it
Which
gonna have-
one of those can you see through?
Is it
Exactly.
gonna have
Enlighten
lasers?
me.
I know. That's why I keep thinking. Like, are we gonna make it out of glass? Like,
Is it lasers?
You see a
Like-
bunch of Mexicans with just a bunch of rocks.
they just come to the
David
wall.
and Goliath over there with the slingshot.
You just come to the wall, like one day, and there's a bunch of Mexicans with their ass pressed against it.
That'd be funny.
But anyway, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you're willing to forfeit your children's future
For a
this
fucking wall.
Yeah.
Let's go back to what we talked about Friday. Cubicles. Let's cubicle every fucking state and just call it done.
See, I'm in favor. If I was a politician, I would say, okay, how about this? We'll give them a giant wall,
I like big walls.
a huge, huge wall. But we're gonna put it on Mexico's side, right? Now hold on, hear me out. And it's gonna be called Texas. So let's just give Texas back to Mexico, and that becomes our wall. Massive borders. Texas is over there. Fuck Texas.
I support
And I say that
this
for multiple reasons, by the way. but-
because Texas sucks. Let's.
Actually,
I think we should
you know-
sacrifice Texas. Let's do it.
You know what's
I
actually
agree,
interesting
absolutely.
about that? Texas is like 4 points away from being Democrat.
Really?
And if it switches to Democrat, the Republican Party's done.
Yeah.
They're gone.
I find it interesting that one of the border town mayors is completely blue. Like he is the biggest Democrat
Yeah,
progressive.
I know. And he's a great
and
guy.
he's like, I do not want this wall. I do not want it. I do not want it. And Trump was like, I talked to him and he said he wanted it. And he's like, no. No means no.
No, and that guy, I can't remember what town it is.
Yeah, it's one of the
He's a
border
m-
town. I thought it was
He's a
hilarious.
mayor over. But and also, if I remember right, isn't his town also 100% renewable energy?
Yes.
Yeah, which is like really cool.
I
Like,
find it amazing. Like he is so far in the future and saving things. He doesn't want the fucking wall.
his average citizen's electric bill is like $32.
Shit.
Jesus.
Yeah, I
A
mean,
little jealous.
I know, right?
A little
Anyway,
jealous.
we're gonna take a quick break.
For from Lowe's.
For all of our podcast listeners, though, we'll be back a little bit quicker than
You're gonna
everyone
hear
else.
all the things we really feel behind the scenes.
Actually, you're probably not going to hear anything. You just hear everyone on their phone. Anyway, we will be back. Podcast. Yes.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was answering Cody because he was like, "Are we back already?"
So yeah,
I
it's
didn't
just
So part of the issue, I'll explain it to you,
they
Cody.
broke, didn't they?
Always.
Jesus, stupid headphones.
Part of the issue why we have to do it this way is because we're syndicated on other platforms,
Sure.
right? So they need us to be so long when
But
we
yet
send it out.
The
But
commercials
the
are fucking with
commercials
us.
cut our live show down, so
Oh.
we're not that long.
Gotcha.
So we thought, well, it would be a better way maybe to turn people into just checking out our YouTube or
What is this?
to the other stream, like 24.7, by saying, hey, you can hear us this way during the commercials, and you guys will get a deeper look into what we're doing and how
What
we
is
live.
that?
Holy shit. And now we're looking at Assault or
Rock
Rock Assault, that's their
Radio.
name, and what they do with their spare
Can I
time.
just say how many people are offended by the name of that show? Rock Assault.
Rock Assault?
Rock Assault Radio, yeah.
Does it remind him of like the Kavanaugh case?
Yes. Like
I
a
mean,
lot of
really,
people-
what is the problem with? I don't care about that.
Because it has assault in it.
It does.
Who cares? So does I don't know.
But yeah, somebody was like, "Why don't they just call it rape?" And I was like, "Rock Rape Radio."
Okay, wait, but see,
I
I've
don't
never.
know. I like it. It has a
I've
nice
ne-
ring to it.
I've
The
never
triple R.
I would be way more into rock rape radio, but like you don't consider it a rape rifle.
A rifle?
It's an assault rifle.
Do you want that?
What is that?
You understand what I'm saying? Like
Pink hat.
that's a stupid assumption.
Oh, so it's
that,
like an assault rifle, not like you're assaulting metal Mykina.
what?
What? What the hell are you
No,
talking
I mean,
about?
I guess I just assumed that's what he was talking about when he meant assault. Like,
What
he was
is that anyway?
assaulting.
Is it their
I
noodles?
don't know. It's the
Oh,
stupidest
God.
thing I've
It's
seen.
Mike's.
Anyway, the sheet that we were
Feels
talking
nice.
about, they just wrote. By the way, Metal Mike, who does Rock Assault Radio, he has the handwriting of a 14-year-old boy. Like it literally is like the Metallica like lettering.
That's
That's
so
how he
weird.
writes.
Is that his?
Yes.
like who?
Do you think it took him like hours to write that just so it would be perfect?
No, I think
No.
like that's just how he writes.
Like an autistic child?
like a sociopath that didn't ever leave the
Executioners.
80s.
Don't call him a
Does that say
sociopath.
tuna satana?
Yeah,
Tura-
there's
Tura?
interesting things there.
Snot?
Snot. Oh,
Snot's cool.
Limp Biscuit?
this some of their-
Soulfly?
un-
What do
Is
you
that
mean
their-
to you? Limp Biscuit? Come on, man. They're the best.
is this their song
Is
list?
this,
Will-
yeah, like is this what they're planning on downloading?
I don't know, because then they got Pollution.
Ugh, which is a Limp Bizkit song.
It
Oh,
a
is it?
good
Okay, I've
song
never
list.
heard that one. And Bleed by Soulfly.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Why don't they
probably
get?
the
Sorry,
only music
why
they
can't they
play.
get good music?
Because that's what they picked, and then they're gonna.
You know what I
fill
think
it
is
in
really
with the
funny?
indies.
So they have the list of bands that they're gonna play. They have Executioners, Tura Satana, I guess, Snot. But then like in between Snot and Limp Bizkit, they have Soulfly, but crossed it out, and then they actually wrote Soulfly under Limp Bizkit. So it's like they decided against it. And they're like, you know what? Actually, yeah, let's play some Soulfly.
Let's get it back to Soulfly. But like, there's no Rise Against. There's no Rancid. There is no punk at all on this station. There's no hip hop at all.
It's heavy metal all the time.
I know. Can we not always be heavy metal?
Skin.
Trivium. Their Trivium catalog stinks.
Yeah, it does.
If you would like to make a request, you need to go when he's DJing live and put it in the basket
And then it just has
with Britney
Crewman.
Spears.
Just has Crewman number 6 randomly on the page.
Right. Yeah, it's his brother.
Is it underlined? Oh, I thought there was hearts for a reason.
That's Aaron, I think.
Yeah, that's weird.
Uh oh.
It
You
is.
just said his name.
Oh,
I think he prefers to go by Crewman number 6. He
Which is
doesn't like his
weird.
identity revealed.
No, he took a picture of himself, like doing
Yeah,
the
I
metal
know.
horns, and then like there's all these crosses behind in his house. Like, so, like his mom has a bunch of crosses
I
in her
know.
house.
What a bitch.
Hey, I do want to say something kind of exciting. On Annex Radio, I was offered a Sunday job by myself.
Nice.
you're
I don't
so
know
cute.
if I'm gonna do it.
I think you're. Well, no, we talked about that. You should.
I
Can
don't
you
want to
it for,
do.
like,
Here's my
a
problem.
seasonal.
Here's my problem.
Oh, okay.
Number one, I'd have to do it here. Like, how else am I going to get the show out?
You're gonna be all alone in the morgue.
Just waiting for people to come here
Touch you.
and negotiate with me. No, I mean, like, well, I don't know. I don't want to leave.
Would you be here alone at night in the dark? at the
Absolutely not. Have you seen this place?
Pretty sure there's mice down here. No, but like, I don't know. I'm so lazy. Like, I like the idea of expanding a little bit, doing a little something. But like, if I could just do it from my house, then all right, I'd do it.
But why couldn't you do it from your house?
How am I gonna do it from my house?
Carefully.
I'm a kid. I can't
Oh.
curse. I don't have the equipment, to be honest. Like,
I do.
I mean, I have the mics.
I have this stuff.
You do.
I do, but no, I mean, I get what you're saying. I think that it should be seasonal, though.
Well, this one was actually to do a more progressive show.
Was it?
More of like just a political thing.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. A political rant bullshit. I don't know.
I
mean,
told you, most people prefer the preachy,
they do apparently.
which is weird.
Because that was all Friday after you
Oh, hail
left.
the Bernie
Because that was
Sanders.
all I could do. Anyway, we're live.
Hey, what's up?
Not yet. We are now.
Oh, hey.
Welcome back to Revolution Radio, where we worship Bernie Sanders.
Barry Sanders.
Barry.
He is local. How do you like my just drop you in there? Like, by the way, we're live.
That's what I was like, hey. Oh, not yet. Oh, now we are. Hey.
So, for those of our listeners who are listening, apparently one of our sponsors is the Humane Society of America, which is amazing because I have
Pippa.
I have 2 stories about pets. Sadly, though, as Cody likes to say, they are kind of sad. 'Cause-
All your stories suck because they're so depressing.
well, this
Wait,
one
how's the story about the comatose patient depressing?
she got
That
some
one's not
love.
depressing.
Because I was gonna say, like,
She got some action.
she got D. I could sit around 14 years and not get laid, and she didn't have to move for it. I mean, that's pretty
Most
impressive.
women
No,
don't
well,
anyway,
I was
do
waiting
they?
for you to say the other thing. So on Friday, he goes, I bet there's a big wet puddle there.
Oh, there would have to be.
It's been 14 years.
If it's been 14 years since you dropped a load, can you imagine the load that would come out? I mean, it wouldn't even be liquid. It would be a baby. You would just shoot an infant out of
It'd
your
be like
dick.
yogurt. It'd be thick and, ooh, like chunky yogurt. What is that?
It would look like an alien. That's what it
Yeah.
would look like.
Could be
You would just like have
Cody's
the,
face.
you'd have the hardest, loudest orgasm you ever had. Just be, there'd just be like this little like alien creature.
Be so hard she could talk again.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
You just gave my limbs life again.
Just saying.
I
So
hate
can you imagine from the other side as a woman? Like you know
crying.
no, actually I guess I'm right. But you know that like the CNA that came in to check on her, like, when did we put a water bed in?
Well, and how would you? I mean, you're not wrong. Like, she just expels some liquid. I don't know. It's weird.
Ugh.
Well, luckily the diaper was there to clean it up.
Oh yeah, because you'd have to put it back on.
Right?
There's
We're
just a
talking about
lot
the
of
nursing home,
fucking
not the
effort.
orphanage.
So I do, and Cody, you're right. It's kind of sad, but not really. So an Idaho jury found this teacher. What is his name? I'm looking it up. Crossland. His last name is Crossland. Robert Crossland. So back in
Did he molest something?
It does sound like
yeah,
a
I'm just saying that sounds like a molester's last name.
last year.
You know, there's like a John Crossland listening. He's like, "Fuck you."
Seriously? So last year, and I think it was back in May, it might have been April, Mr. Crossland brought a puppy into his science class. He let the kids play with it, and he says that there was a farmer who gave him this puppy because it was the runt of the litter. So he let the kids play with it, and he was explaining how food chains work. So before the class ended, he took, and it was described, it was a little yellow Labrador puppy. As it was kind of small, he took it and he picked it up before the bell rang and he threw it in this homemade swamp he made, where his 40-pound snapping alligator snapper turtle pulled the puppy underwater and ate it in front of the class, and said this is how life cycles work. They eat other, the big predators eat the little predators. And then the bell rang and the kids had to go to their next class.
Holy shit.
Sadly, some of those kids were a little disturbed that the puppy they played with for almost an hour was just eaten alive. Well, last Friday, it was discovered that the state of Ohio has decided Mr. Crossland's not guilty of animal cruelty, because what if the puppy was sick? Sadly, there was no parts of the puppy left. The video that one of the students took was the puppy was swimming across the homemade river. So it was well enough to move, and they don't know if it drowned before it was eaten or not. So technically the cruelty was not on Mr. Crossland.
I would agree with that.
They did, however, put the snapping turtle to sleep.
Oh, that's
because
bullshit.
It's an alligator snapping turtle, and it's illegal to have in Idaho.
That is fucking bullshit.
So good news, and he gets to start his teaching job this semester next month. So yay, Mr. Crossland. That's a fucked up story.
I'm in favor of the alligator snapper. I mean, look, okay, if you get eaten by a turtle, then you're just not.
It's a big fucking turtle.
Yeah, have you ever seen those things?
They're fast too.
They're
like,
mean sons of bitches.
God.
Like, you would get eaten by one. That's the thing.
No, I've seen them.
Yeah, you would
I
be
don't know.
fucked.
If this puppy was so sick, why not just take it to a vet?
Well, I don't know about that, because that costs money. This was free.
I guess to feed. What would you?
And
wanna
it got him a
feed your
teaching job.
pet? But I mean, to feed your other pet.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking up a video of a puppy getting eaten by a snapping.
I know, I kind of want to see it.
Oh
I'm not
my
going to lie.
god!
I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to see it.
Seriously, you guys
Yeah.
are seriously.
Yeah, really.
But it's my point is the same though, like where it's not moving fast.
Well, what kind of dog is it?
No, I mean the turtle.
Right, but what kind of dog was it?
I don't know, just a regular dog.
Is it like a shitty little Shih Tzu or something?
Shitty little Shih Tzu.
Are you
Or
saying
like a Yorkie or...
Are you saying it would move faster if it was gonna?
No, I'm saying I don't feel half as bad if it was. Cause
Oh, and it's-
fuck those dogs.
And in this video, the dog doesn't get eaten, but it's just like the turtle's like just chilling. I'm just like,
well, maybe you can find that video that the classmate took.
yeah, I found absolutely nothing on that because I was trying. That I
You
wanted
really
to
wanted
see.
to see that. Yeah, that's.
Because, well, I'm curious. This one in here, they say this one is 35 pounds. And, like, turtles are pretty big, especially. They can be pretty big, but they're
Well,
heavy.
yeah.
But, like, look how big it is. They say that's 35 pounds. That's not that big.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent sized turtle.
But how big would that puppy have to be? That puppy have to be tiny.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, it's not like they have, like, they're not apex predators. They eat
But
fish
it's an
typically.
alligator snapping
This is
turtle.
an alligator
Is it?
snapping. Yeah.
But this thing was in the water. I mean, and he threw the puppy in the water.
Well, I mean, like, they're not by the water. Like, the turtle's going
Why are they
back.
just playing with it?
I don't know. But,
I've seen people get attacked by those things. I know, fuck that.
I mean, he's biting shit.
He's a
I
big one.
guess.
But yeah, like
look,
you
he's
said-
stuck on his back. Oh, now he's pissed.
But like you said, yeah, he's big. But what kind of shit dog?
That's what I'm
Would
saying.
get eaten
It's
by this
probably,
thing?
it's probably a piece of shit Shih Tzu or a Yorkie.
Well, they said it was
Or-
a Labrador.
It was a lab puppy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, it was a
I
little yellow
love
one.
labs.
It's still a shit
here
dog
comes
if
the
it,
No.
Here
if
comes
it
the
got
tear.
if it got eaten by that.
It's
Look,
a puppy.
so I want to know how big this dog was. That's my thing.
Puppy.
Like how big of a
I don't know.
Like
All the
hamster
articles,
size?
They said that it came from a farmer whose dog had puppies, and it was the runt of the litter.
I mean, that could be like.
Have you never seen a puppy in your life?
Well,
I've
and
seen
see, that's
multiple
what I'm
puppies with
thinking,
multiple sizes. Is my
Is
thing.
that this was
Like if this was like a hamster-sized dog, okay, then I can see where a snapping turtle
well,
would
and
eat
see,
it.
I'm thinking that's what it was. It was less than 8 weeks old because the farmer just gave it away because nobody was going to buy the runt. But you still don't throw it in a fucking pond to be eaten in front of a bunch of high schoolers.
I guess not. I mean, I don't know.
Well, that brings us
That's
to
how
our
life.
next
That's
story.
how life works.
So this story comes to us from Canton, Ohio. And Scott Winter, who is 46, this last October, just a few months ago,
This guy kind of also sounds like a rapist. I'm not gonna lie.
well, he got upset with his ex-girlfriend. They have 5 children. She was not performing sexually for him, and she was being very argumentative,
What a bitch.
right? So to get
So
back
he went
at
out
her,
back. He punched her horse to death.
No, sadly, he did not. He did, however, strangle their family dog and hang it up in the garage and then skin it in front of the children and cook it over a bonfire and force the
Oh my
children to eat it.
god.
So when the woman
What does this
came-
dude like have a lifetime special? Like
So when his
you
girlfriend
just can't
came
be that
home,
evil.
the children were visibly upset, and he was like, "Look, I told you to cook dinner, and you wouldn't, so I did." They ate the dog.
Told you to cook dinner and suck my dick. They did both.
This is what the problem is. So this happened in October, and this is not the first animal cruelty charge he has had. There was an incident where he beat a dog to death, and there was also an incident where he might have had sexual relations with a dog. So back in October, after he did this, he was automatically found guilty. Well, it's now January. He was up for parole. Parole was granted and he was allowed to go home. He was told, no more dogs. That's about it.
Fuck this dude.
Here's my problem.
Who is this guy, Gaddafi? I mean, like, how can this guy be so fucked up? For one, like, what about the child abuse? Because that's child abuse.
Exactly.
That would have to be.
And the judge, because it's being questioned by other people, the judge said technically he did not hit his ex-girlfriend or the children. He just fed them. The judge said that. In my opinion, he beat, strangled, skinned, cooked, and fed a dog. I kind of find that abusive to
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
Apparently, the children are still somewhat traumatized, but he did go home. He cannot
That's a
live
slippery.
with them,
That is a slippery slope, though.
right? That's kind of weird.
No, I know you're giving me that weird look, but hear me out. We just like dogs. What if we didn't like dogs? Or
What if we were China?
No, that's racist.
China, they have a dog eat meat day, like where they all gather up a bunch of dogs, skin them, and eat them. It's a dog meat festival. I'm gonna find this. Okay.
You know
I'm
an
looking
awful
it up.
lot about this.
I do.
She really hates dogs.
Yeah.
That's what she gets off on. Like a lot of women, like especially at her advanced age, they watch like baking shows, and that's how they get off because it's food porn.
Watch dog food.
And she just watches dogs get beat the shit out of. And that's what she. Like, oh yeah, punch that lab in the face.
The
Oh, why don't you
lychee-
punch that poodle?
Lychee and Dog Meat Festival. It's in Yulin, Guangzhou, China.
Okay, so but you're making my point. Okay, so what I'm saying is it's not illegal to kill and eat a dog.
It's just frowned upon.
Yeah, I mean it's just social. It's social. Because
But
like
do you feel like his punishment has fit the crime, though?
no,
Okay, well, that's my point.
I am saying as a judge it is kind of a slippery slope. Because like what if they really loved a pig? Like I love the pig. It's like it's Babe. I love
James
this pig.
Breakwell will be very upset with you.
But hey, I don't eat bacon and shit. Two people across from me love their pork. I don't. But I'm from an outside perspective here, saying, what if they loved it, and then like that'll do, pig,
Too big.
and that's it. And then it's like, oh my god, they're traumatized by that, and they would be, and I get the being traumatized. But,
I understand what you're saying, and I get your point of view, because if we were in China this would not be a
Or
pet.
many other places, by the way.
No, I'm
mean,
using
it's
China
meat.
because they have a fucking festival where they do this. My point is, this man did not say, hey, we have nothing else to eat, or hey, this is not a pet. He took the family pet, beat it, strangled it, skinned it, and barbecued it to feed to his family because he was mad at his ex-girlfriend. And you're right, no, he did not hit anybody, but I still
didn't say
feel
that.
like this is completely inappropriate, and his punishment did not fit the crime, and he should not be free.
So
Can we look though, real quick? Sorry, but can we look at like what led to it though? Because I'm often a fan of, like, okay, you watch football, and it's always bullshit how like when one guy pushes another guy, and then the guy comes back and hits him, and the guy that comes back and hits him always gets the flag. And it's like that's garbage. He got pushed first. Shouldn't, I don't know, maybe the fact what led him to this, shouldn't that also be maybe explored
She
a little
wanted to
bit?
cook dinner.
well, and to that
I mean-
that point, I was also gonna say, unpopular opinion, maybe you should have just beat the shit out of the woman, then the dog would be fine.
I mean, I think that's what Tanya's advocating for. I'm not saying I do. I don't agree with that.
Listen,
You know,
Oh my god, I love you both so
it wasn't her. It wasn't his kids. So she's like,
it wasn't. How do you know
No,
that?
it does not say if it was their kids or not.
I assumed.
Just random kids they found.
No, I assumed it's not his kids, but it's her kids. Just
Why?
because the way they mentioned he fed it to her kids.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like just the wording in there. So I'm thinking she kind of trapped him in, and then he's obviously having to watch the kids. She's gone somewhere.
So Cody, let me ask you this.
She's not
Uh-huh.
performing oral or cooking.
She-
I don't know. I mean,
So Cody, the next time you're fucking a single mom with multiple children, and she won't blow you or cook for you, are you gonna
Okay.
cook their family dog?
you know, it just depends on what mood I'm in. Depends how I wake up that
I'm
morning.
starting to see a new light about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
I hope the single moms stay away from you for a while.
Yeah,
Speaking
well,
of that, though, I got a question.
Yes.
Not
single moms are beating dogs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
where are you gonna go
I
with
can
this?
roll with it either way. I'm ready.
dog related.
Okay.
And child abuse. Should it be child abuse? Like, okay, you ever have like one of your friends that has like a fuck ton of animals, and
Yeah.
you go to their house and like it smells, and you can like tell, like, have you ever felt like your toe like on their carpet and it's almost like
Yeah.
squishy, like
Yeah.
there's piss in this
Okay,
carpet.
that's disgusting.
Like you can, you know what I'm saying
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
like, and it's like randomly see dog shit. Should that be considered child abuse? Because
Yes.
it's not enough.
Not child abuse, child endangerment.
I thought it was considered child endangerment.
I mean, it's
I don't
not.
know.
I don't think it's prosecuted nearly enough.
I would say child endangerment because you're endangering the child to like really bad disease.
Yeah.
Like if they're just
Exactly.
playing around in shit, basically.
I mean,
That's-
especially if they had cats, because you
I
can
wouldn't
catch things from
see.
cats.
I wouldn't say child abuse because it's not. It's not a direct approach. It's not like they're taking the kid's face and rubbing it in shit.
That's true.
They're just or
for
neglect
yourself.
even just
Neglect,
child
yeah,
neglect.
yeah, that's a
That'd
good
probably
one,
be a
yeah.
better one. Neglect or endangerment, I would
And-
go with, but
yeah,
not
and
abuse.
I would say endangerment. I'd agree with too. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
But you rarely ever hear stories about that.
Yeah.
And I know so many. I don't know a lot of people, but I know a number of people that actually like they've let their pets
I don't
control
think
their
that,
house.
I mean, I get what you're saying, that it's not brought out a lot, but I do think in a lot of like child endangerment cases, they do talk about, well, I walked in and there's a puddle of piss and the carpet was squishy and
Yeah.
there was shit everywhere.
But that's
I mean, they do
unrelated,
talk
though.
about
They
it.
just happen to also be really asshole parents who like punch their kids.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's really unrelated. They aren't there because of the dogs. They're there
No,
because
they're-
of something else. It just happens to be there.
I think they add those charges on, like, yeah, you should have
Yeah.
picked up the shit. I don't know what to tell
or
you.
like cleanliness.
Yeah.
That is a big thing.
Is
If you're
it?
if it's not clean, yes, it is. Especially with the case a few months ago where they found the dead baby with a diaper full of maggots.
Oh.
Ugh.
I mean, in that case, since it made such a big, it was so out there that, yeah, a lot of the times if you have, dirty diapers in the trash can that haven't been taken out and They're starting to prosecute it more.
No, that's kind of bullshit, though.
Yeah.
Like,
One person ruins it for the rest of us.
well, I mean, like, I've had a baby, and you're
Sometimes that
doing
kid
it like
shits
every
30 times
Yes,
a day.
exactly. Like,
When I was raising my kid, I just put the baby on top of the trash can, and either the baby fell in or the diaper did. Either way, it's taken care of.
just
That's why you call him
just sat
trashy.
it in the
Yeah.
trash can, like put its butt, like angled it so it was like
Yeah.
She
stuck
cut
in
a
there.
hole in like a seat, and he's like, "Just fucking sit there."
Just let it shit there. It's fine.
Just got a hole on top of the trash can, put
How
some
many
leashes
kids have
on
you
him.
had taken away?
Couple.
What about like a diaper genie?
Exactly.
what?
A diaper genie?
What's that?
You stick the diaper in and it spins them so you don't smell. And you can
Yeah.
get like 100 and some in there. You can stuff that puppy.
I don't know if you can get that many. I
I,
think you can get like 30.
like I know someone who you can stuff. They have a huge like super diaper.
Oh, like a bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was just like this big around, but yeah.
That's weird. You just store dirty diapers in there?
Yeah, it's like a trash can for diapers.
It's electric. It goes. Bzzz, and, yeah.
Because you would be just like that would be your day. Like, hey,
Like,
what'd you
I'm
do today?
telling you.
I took out diapers.
You like you change a wet diaper and you're like, maybe it could hold more pee. Let's not. And then the minute you change it, the kid pisses on you. So you stick a new clean one and then they shit and you're like, are you? That's 3 diapers in like 10 minutes. You
Yeah,
little fucker.
you can totally. Yeah.
Kids suck and they hate the smell of clean. You need to stop getting your kids taken away, Cody.
You
No,
would know
it
this.
sounds like I need to keep getting them taken away.
They do have a thing now, like this receptacle, where you can drop off a baby.
Oh, the
Yeah.
door. It looks
Yeah,
like
it's
a
like this
book
door on this.
return.
Yeah, and you put the baby in there and you close it and you
And
leave.
it sends off like an alarm to the police department, and it locks the baby in there until they put their code in. It's like a book return.
Mm-hmm.
Funny story.
Wait,
do
really?
Not put
I've just
books
been-
in there.
I've just been putting them in the book return.
You need to read anyway, asshole. its skull's too big, so it's just like stuck. It's like wedged in the book return.
Well, no, not if they're young enough. It's still soft. It'll form.
That is horrible. So, do you know why they made it that way?
What?
Because they found a baby in a library book return, and it got stuck, and the baby died, which is why they had to make them bigger.
See, I told bigger. Why would you make it smaller?
Yeah, it's all set up so like you can set the baby in like while it's sleeping.
At a library?
No,
at the
Oh,
fire,
okay.
at the fire
I thought you were
department.
talking about.
I don't even
actual
know where
book
they
re-
actually have these. I mean,
They're at fire
so I thought that was like a
departments.
random.
I thought you were
and
talking about an actual book
building.
return.
No, it's at the. There's one at the fire at each fire department, and then there is.
Oh, so they don't just have like buildings designated for baby
You would
drop-offs?
think no at the fire department. You just.
What do you
go
mean
drop
you
your
would
baby.
think?
Yeah, right. Like
Like I don't
they've
think
got
it's
one of
that
those
common of
turnstiles
occurrence.
with 2 lines, people going in and
Well,
people
I
coming
mean-
There's a
out.
line of people just dropping their. Again, I don't think that's a common
Sorry,
occurrence.
government shut down. I'm not getting my tax return, so you're getting returned.
Okay, but think about it. All right,
Return
you're
to
like,
sender.
I don't want this baby. Here, let me go to the fire department or the turntable down the street. Oh, look. Hey, Jessica's there. We'll just drop them off together. Friends for life.
I would just like leave
I
them on
just
that baby
figured you-
changing station in like the McDonald's bathroom.
Oh, that
that
baby
hap-
would sit there for days.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I just figured if you didn't want your kids, you'd just use the microwave around them a lot, and then they would have health problems.
Anti-vax.
Don't you stick them in there to get them warm?
Right? No,
You just heat them up. Oh, you're cold.
I still question your whole thing. Like, yeah, I can't believe they don't have.
I know.
I don't know a single person who's ever given up their kid
But how would you know? I mean, most people.
because they have a baby one day, and the next time I see them, no baby. That's one
I'm
of the.
talking. Most people that have used this service, though, the babies are just born. Like some of them are still covered in goo, and nobody knows who the parents are.
Look,
When they
there
get
again.
born behind
Like,
a dumpster.
okay, have
then
you heard
you
of
see-
a comatose patient?
Then you see her.
Just throw their
she's-
baby in there.
She's pregnant, and then she's not pregnant, and no baby. Then you're like, what happened? Someone's like, oh yeah, she had the baby. Give it away. Like, that's not. Oh, that's not an easy thing to hide. Like, you could literally be like, oh, I had no idea that guy was gay. Okay, that's a fair one.
but we
you
didn't
could-
know you were gay.
You could sneak gay. You can't sneak, I don't have a kid anymore. Like, if you were to show up at my house and you're like, hey, where's your son? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. You'd be like, no, you had it. It was 6. He was here. Nope.
You're still about that 6-year
No
abortion
idea.
thing, aren't you?
I mean, you can't hide not having a kid anymore.
Cody, what happened to your like 10-year-old kid?
10-year-old.
10-year-old.
Jesus Christ, I'd be 13. when
I
had a
don't
kid.
judge.
That is when you lost your virginity. Holy shit, you
No.
could have it. I thought it was 13 or 14.
It was 14.
Yeah, whatever.
You
You
could
could
have
have
a
like a
10-year-old.
10-year-old kid.
I mean, yeah, it's probably.
Jesus Christ.
Listen,
If
it was.
you had to like seriously guess, how many kids do you really think you have?
I don't
that are
think
just
I have
getting
any.
pawned off as, oh no, that's really my husband's.
Well, I think I won a turkey somewhere. In
Let's
that,
say at least one.
nah, I don't think I have any.
I mean, I guess.
I don't know for sure, but I don't think I have any.
I mean, you run raw a lot, though.
Nah.
That's not what I've heard.
Look, the way your dick has that side where it oozes and it's just bloody.
It's just one side though, so it's cool.
The other side's fine.
All right,
I
glowing.
take pictures from that
It's
side.
my good side. Mind the drip.
That's why I don't. That's why I didn't fuck a lot of different people. Because I'm not a.
I thought it was
condom-
because of your weird limp in high school.
That was swag.
It's that hunchback you got going.
No, I just could. I don't like condoms. I'm not advocating
I
people
don't think
not
anybody
to use
really
them.
likes condoms, so.
Yeah, but I just won't use them. Like,
See, that's what I'm saying.
Do you want to hear something sad? I know somebody who has a legitimate allergy to all latex.
Yeah,
Like,
so do
we-
I.
oh, I don't like so many people.
I do. I do know because we blew up balloons for her birthday and she went into anaphylaxis.
Holy shit.
And that's how we discovered because she was a baby and they're like, well, no, she's highly allergic. Like they can't even use certain gloves when they're. And now that she's old enough, I'm like, that's how we know she's gonna have sex because you can't have a condom.
See, if she would have been more sexually active, you
have-
guys would have known earlier.
They have goat skin ones.
They
But
do.
would you wear one or like a sheepskin?
I didn't even know you would find one.
I don't know.
Also,
can
whose
order 'em
idea
on
was it to
Amazon.
like skin a sheep and put it on your dick?
No, it's their intestines.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's even better.
Like when you're making sausage, you're like, oh, let me just take the intestine off and stick it on there.
So I'm gonna stick my dick in
Sausage.
the lower intestine of a creature, and then I'm gonna stick it in a woman. That's just fucking creepy.
Remember when you fucked that goat? This is about the same thing.
I'd rather just jack off.
You're
That's
too
what I'm saying.
lazy.
No, but I actually that's like I know so many people that claim they have a latex allergy, but
No, I do know one person
well,
with
yeah,
a
yeah,
legitimate.
I would buy that one. I would buy that one, but
But I've been told by someone, no, I have it. I have a latex allergy, and I'm like, really?
I call their bluff until I slap them in the face with the latex glove.
You're like, oh, you got a hive. Okay, you're fine.
it's
Yeah.
like you're starting a duel.
I know. Show up at noon. If you're dead, I believe you.
Oh my god. That is.
I'm just
horrible.
saying.
You're doing like a blood drawing duel with a
Yeah.
latex glove.
Right.
Instead of guns, you get needles ready.
Is this
What is
Southside
wrong with
Chicago?
No, like why with latex gloves? Like you're a nurse.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god. So I do have a funny story because Cody thinks I'm. Well, and there's no more dead dogs or eating dogs or feeding dogs to people
Damn it.
or China.
No, I'm done with the fun of the show.
So last night was the Golden Globes, and I tend to ignore the Golden Globes.
It was?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was. But what I found interesting was
Why
I-
Sandra Oh was hosting it,
who?
right?
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, most people don't. It's like,
Okay.
why is she hosting this piece of shit?
Well,
All right.
I have no idea. But my favorite thing, because I don't pay attention to any of those award shows, will have to be Kelleth Cuthbert. Her name is Kelleth. She is 24, and I'm gonna
Did Mike Tyson name her?
Yeah.
Kelleth Cuthbert, right? I didn't even think of how her name sounded.
That's all I think
Weird.
about.
Kelleth.
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 Kellith. Cuthbert.
So her real name's Kellis.
Cuthbert. Cuthbert.
She sounds like a made-up character by Cindy Brady.
That's horrible. No, she's a real person. She's 24, and she's an aspiring model and actress.
Ugh.
Well,
Everybody is.
So it means
aren't
retarded.
They? Right. Aren't they all
Yeah,
aspiring models?
They are.
well, this was her
It was like
third.
born like pretty.
Oh my God, shut up. So this was her third Golden Globes. And I'm waiting for
For
the-
what?
I'm trying to talk, you
Is she
stupid
in
fucker.
porn?
No, but I'm saying, like,
Shit.
No,
but
hang on.
Oh my
You
God.
have to set up a better. You're
She-
saying she's an aspiring model.
She has to be in porn.
She has to do something.
There's no
I'm
way.
trying to explain
There's
to
no
you.
way you're an aspiring model and she's on her third Golden Globe
Yeah,
at
that's what I-
24.
Can
That's what
I
I'm saying.
finish the goddamn story?
It's porn. I'm calling
It
it.
is not porn.
No, because that's the thing they have in Nevada.
What, incest?
Okay, you know what?
No,
I'm
the
gonna do
porn.
this.
No, but I'm saying like that's the
I'll
porn
do it.
award.
No, that's my story. No, fuck you. I'm just gonna sit here and stare at Zach.
I'm just saying I was answering his question. It's the porn award. They have their own.
All
award.
I'm saying is there's no way you're an aspiring model.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, how would you
So,
get 3 of these
Like,
things?
This is Alytha
Alytha.
Kelleth Cuthbert.
By the
and
way,
this-
for all the listeners, Tanya is having a stroke. It's just happening.
Jesus. And this is her third Golden Globes because what she
Because.
does. No. So she has decided she is an aspiring actress and model. She's been in a few small roles. This is what she does at the Golden Globes. She serves water, which should not be a big deal.
It's
No.
And they are going to be releasing. She's photobombing everybody.
Let me see that real quick.
And what she's doing is, as these famous people are walking the red carpet, she has her little tray of water and she stands in front of them. So people ask her to move, and she's still photobombing hundreds and hundreds of pictures her with, and she's facing the cameras.
That's funny.
It is. I find it hilarious. I thought it was a joke because how many? There's hundreds of pictures. This is
So-
the third year she's doing it.
Here's the problem, right? She should stay aspiring because she's got crazy eyes.
She does.
Like, serious
Let me
crazy
see
eyes.
this-
Show
let
Zach
me see
that.
this chick.
Scroll up a little bit. You'll see
Yeah,
Idris
there's
Elba.
tons of, but and she's just photobombing them just to fuck with people.
So then how is she an aspiring? Why is she at the Golden Globes? Who
She's-
gets a water girl job there 3 years in a row?
because this is her goal.
So I got another question. Who is that?
I don't know. I saw that.
And
that
what?
weird?
I mean, I'm not trying to be transphobic, but and what is that?
Like, I know who the guy is.
I don't know what the question mark is.
It says Thirsty Boys.
Oh, okay.
But who is that guy?
Sorry.
I don't know. It looks like Donald Glover Jr. in that episode of Atlanta.
It does. But I found it hilarious that this chick has her little tray of water and she's just randomly in people's pictures.
Why do you keep moving my pic like where I was at?
Because I don't know who that other person is.
Oh, sweet.
Idris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, sometimes, and Cody's right, she does get this crazy look on her
She has
face.
crazy eyes, dude.
Yeah, I mean, like,
But I kind of want to do that the next time we go to like a political rally. Just stand right behind people and just fucking photobomb them.
Don't
there's
do that.
tons of these.
Isn't that great? And they all have bottles of water. Like they think she's really being helpful, and she's just stalking you from a couple feet away.
Although, okay, can I ask a real question about because like she's in different places, right? And
Yeah.
she's behind a lot of people, but like these people, I don't really know who most of them are. Not that I'm like a guru
I don't know who a
of.
lot of these people at the Golden Globes were, but I mean, and it's obvious they're just walking the red carpet.
I mean, that's a chick from.
And
don't
I
know
think
who
that's why they used Richard Madden's picture because he's probably the most famous. Because I don't know who any
Who
of
the
these.
fuck's Richard Madden?
The guy from Game of Thrones, the first picture.
I didn't see the first picture. Which one is he from Game of Thrones?
Seriously?
Richard Madden?
Yes.
You
You
can't
did-
seriously because like if you said Kit Harington,
He
Then-
was in the first few 2 or 3 seasons. John.
John Arrington.
No. The guy, he played the big brother for Jon Snow. Oh, his name wasn't John. Robb Stark.
Oh.
There you go.
Okay, you can't get mad at that because like for one, Rob
Exactly.
Stark hasn't been relevant in forever, and he hasn't done anything else. But like
Okay.
I know so few of those people. Like I'm sure it was the Golden Globe, so
Slots exposed.
some people have to be there.
Looking at.
Slut. It's probably one of those stupid side app things.
Of course it is, but I don't like. I'm sure there's just so many pictures being taken.
But yeah, no, that's Richard Madden. That's what he looks like when he's not Rob Stark. And I don't know what that gray thing is in his hair.
It's probably his hair.
Are you gonna do that when you get older? Just like get a streak of gray?
I think you should do it now.
So that's him. Wait. But that was him with the trans person.
Yes.
There's one of him solo too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, but my
Jay's
po-
a little jealous that he does not have a trans person.
I just
at
don't even
home.
know what that is or who that is. But my point is though is like there had to be more famous people there.
There was as you scroll down. I saw some people I knew.
Did you? Like,
Yeah.
who is this? Who's this chick?
I don't know who she is. No.
By the way,
like,
this is great radio. People
We have no
like
idea.
watching people.
like
I am making a point, and that is like, but maybe there's just so many pictures being taken. And
You
there's
think
so
so?
many. Yeah, like
But in
maybe
some
she's
of
not
these,
purposely
she's
doing
actually
that.
looking at the camera.
Some of them, and then some though she's like looking down or looking at something
See, okay,
else.
that was Idris Elba. I know him because I've masturbated to him.
There's one where she's like picking her ass. Obviously, obviously she wasn't photo bombing that. Like, yeah, put that in New Girl.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
There had to be famous people there. I mean,
There are
famous people.
like this guy.
That's William H. Macy.
William, yeah,
Is that his name?
you don't know William H. Macy?
I don't know him by name. Oh shit! Here we go again. See, simple
You're just
ingredients,
pushing
not a
buttons
lot
on
of
my
sugar.
phone.
What is Siggy's Icelandic skier?
It's yogurt.
Oh, like what the fuck?
The yogurt.
The yogurt.
It's really good yogurt.
Also, I find it interesting that like that's something that's covered.
Who cares? Who
Right,
cares about
that's-
some Fiji bitch in the background?
Yeah,
Because I'd rather pay attention to her. I don't really pay attention to the Golden Globes. What are you doing?
Minded my business.
I'm still curious as to why the Golden Globes.
Is a thing.
Yeah, and why Sandra Oh hosted it? Who the?
I don't know who the fuck Sandra Oh is, and you keep going on
Exactly.
about her.
She was the co-host. That's why.
What does she do?
She was in Grey's Anatomy for like
oh, Jesus. I don't
forever.
even watch Grey's Anatomy. We've been
Me
over
neither.
this.
Yeah, me,
But he knows.
me neither.
Right?
Because it said it.
Oh,
Yeah, from Grey's Anatomy, Sandra Oh. I was a man and I was watching football last night.
Here's the thing.
And they kept talking about that.
if you have to say she's from Grey's Anatomy,
Right? That's
Like-
my.
Idris Elba, if he went up there, no people would know. I mean, I personally know him from The Wire.
No, but yeah, you
But-
wouldn't know it. But, well, the host, the other co-host was Andy Sandberg.
Who?
From like Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
No idea.
Oh, is he in,
Fuck you.
oh, what's that?
She
show
really
on
doesn't
Netflix?
fucking know.
You really
Isn't he
don't,
on Netflix?
dude. Lonely Island.
Yeah.
You've really never seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I don't really watch TV.
Pop star.
Dude, I don't either. But like,
What was that? He was in that one.
Is it, I think he's the one that's in a show on Netflix, like Futu.
What the fuck are you talking about? What kind of drugs are you on?
Lot.
I mean, he's been in like so much shit.
I'm surprised you don't know him from Lonely Island. That's
Yeah.
where he like really where it really took off for him. I think he was in a couple things before that, but Lonely Island.
And he wasn't he in like that movie where he was being like he was trying to be a stuntman?
Yeah. Man, I can't remember.
Something.
Cuckoo. Pop star. He's
Yeah.
in Hotel Transylvania. Hot Rod.
Hot Rod. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Hot Rod.
There you go.
You didn't know that guy?
Too legit to quit.
Oh my God, he was in That's My Boy. That was a horrible movie. I hated that movie.
Yeah, that was a horrible movie.
I don't think I've seen that one.
You're not missing out.
Yeah, Adam Sandler.
That's My Boy.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar, but I don't think I've seen it.
One of the many shitty Adam Sandler films.
He was like,
Sandler or Sandberg?
Sandler.
Sandler.
And Sandberg was
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah. Sandberg
oh,
played
I
his
have
kid.
seen that. That was shitty.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Oh. Okay. So I know who he is.
You know that guy.
I looked it up. I did.
But Sandra Oh, I
You
don't
still
get it. Like, I
Sandra
don't
Oh.
understand how she was.
Okay, let me look up Sandra Oh. Maybe
Which, by
I'll
the way, they
recognize
went
her.
from Kevin Hart
I know.
to, and
I wanna see
I
a
could see
picture of
Andy
this bitch.
Samberg. I could see him, but like they felt like they needed more star power, so they add. I mean, why didn't they just add fucking
Oh,
Tanya
her.
over here?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
She's been in a couple of.
I could have told you
movies.
she was from Grey's Anatomy, just because she's like in every trailer.
Well,
But oh, I'm surprised.
Made my
Yeah,
point.
she. Although
She's in that new show, Killing Eve.
I'm going to say,
Sure.
I think so far, I'm pretty sure so far Grey's Anatomy is like the only big thing she's been in.
right. And apparently
bet.
she's in this new show, which will
I'd bet.
probably flop and get canceled.
I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying Killing Eve.
Of course you are.
You would.
You're
You
not-
haven't watched Atlanta, but you'll watch that shit.
You haven't seen Atlanta?
Oh Jesus Christ! I did not finish the fucking episode, but I will.
You know what's funny? Yesterday. Well, I'm trying to watch the.
Have you
Bear-
not watched any Atlanta?
No,
Oh.
not at all. I know. I was watching the Bears in the Eagles game, which was
Oh, I did text you.
amazing. And she's like texting me like about what shit to watch or like I brought up legit. 'Cause It's on Hulu now.
Excellent.
She's never even heard of it.
What?
It happens.
Jim Jeffries.
She has barely even heard of Jim Jeffries.
What?
Like, how can you not have heard of Jim Jeffries?
How do you
Like,
hang out with us and not hear about Jim
I'm
Jeffries?
telling you.
How do you honestly really? I mean, I don't know. You've got to keep your.
You know who Louis C.K. is, right?
Yes.
That's a guy that raped those chicks.
I'm just making sure.
He didn't rape him, did he? No, he masturbated.
No, that's what I was using. I was purposely giving a basic
Yeah, you kind
answer.
of proved the point right there.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
I just that scares me. That worries me. I should say that you don't know
Yep.
Jim Jeffries. I don't know. She's
I'm
just kinda
sorry
huge.
that I don't masturbate to him the way you do.
Why can't you just watch TV like a normal person?
Yeah, I mean the Jim
Don't have
Jeffries
cable.
show. It's
He has a show?
Have you seen Community?
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Then why have you not seen Atlanta?
Oh
What's
my
your excuse
God.
that? Because I'm sorry.
It even advises
Listen.
you to watch Atlanta after you watch Community.
I'm
It
gonna.
does?
This may
Yeah.
be an unpopular opinion. I don't know, but I like Atlanta better than I do Community.
I don't, but I could see where people would.
Yeah.
For me, like Atlanta reminds me so much of Louis.
Yeah.
Like it's almost
I think that's kind of why I like it.
it's creepy how close in similarity they are. Like in just like I don't know, like writing and
Yeah.
Do you have any articles to bring today?
I brought up what we were talking about. I mean,
Okay.
I could go on about some other stuff,
No,
but
we just have like 5 minutes left. so
we've been
it's us.
talking about this shit.
Okay.
Um,
Do you have anything?
No.
I mean, I don't know. I brought up the clemency, the wall. I don't know. I kind of did quite a
I'm
bit.
just asking.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe I could just find a bunch of articles about dead dogs, and I could use that as go, hey, look
Right.
what I did, guys! I killed a bunch of dogs.
Tanya, let me ask you a better question. Do you have anything of substance?
What do you mean?
Do you have anything of substance more than like, I don't know, a dog getting thrown in with a snapping turtle?
No, because I'm trying to stay away from most of the political stuff that Jay does.
And to be fair to Jay on this one, there's not a lot of political stuff right now because
Jay.
there's not a lot of government shit going on that
Yeah.
isn't having to do with the wall.
Or
I mean,
shutdown?
I will say that the Democrats did say today, it was breaking news that just released, that they are refusing to pass any bill unless it has to do with reopening the government.
Good.
So it could be a long time before anything gets done. We could be on a shutdown for, which is crazy, by the way, is I've heard them say, oh, we could be on a shutdown for years.
No, it won't.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, even a year.
Let's say till the end of Trump's presidency. If that happens, he won't get reelected.
Oh, there's no way.
And then you'll get a Democrat in, and then it'll reopen.
I mean, there's just no way we could be shut down that long.
No.
I don't think we're honestly. I can't imagine we'd be shut down much longer. Than this week. I don't know.
Obama's was only 17 days.
13.
17.
I'm
almost positive it's 17. My phone's dead. I'd look it up, but hey, Tanya, you're not doing anything.
You can look it up.
My phone's dead.
Sucks to be you.
What are you looking up so intently?
With 5
it's
minutes
this
left.
article about a Quebec woman that disappeared in Burkina Faso, and
See-
they're considering it a kidnapping.
This is why I should be in my spot, because I would have had this looked up already.
16 days was Obama's.
16? All right,
Yeah.
I'll compromise.
I mean, you're kind of forced to. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It'd be ridiculous to think that it'd go much longer. But even at that, okay, so it's a partial shutdown, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we still get mail.
Yep.
We're still having trash service.
Still getting taxes taken out of our checks, even
Yeah.
though we don't get them back.
But are you sure about that?
Yeah.
I thought that
Have
they
you
were
gotten
gonna
a
be
paycheck
able to
recently?
they will be able to do some tax returns, and that people are getting paid.
That's what I mean, like, because people with disabilities, they're still getting their money.
Well,
Um,
because when I looked it up for the SSI, the disability, retirement, and some other things, those are on yearly contracts. So you're contracted for one full year that this is the amount you're going to get, and that's the only reason that some of these people are still getting paid.
Oh.
But I do know that if you were not in the yearly contract, which is what one of the things that President Trump and some of them are wanting to do, was take away all these contracts. They did do that with some people. And it's the people who recently went on disability and SSI in the last 2 years. So they were not contracted, so no, they are not getting paid. So it just depends on where you fall in the last 2 years.
Gotcha. I guess what my point, or not even point, but question, is it that big of a deal,
What?
the shutdown? Like, okay, no, I mean, hear me. Like, look, I think we should reopen as quickly as we can.
Okay.
Because you have TSA agents and
The TSA agents.
well,
are
they're
still
important. I mean, because
They
like
are
I was
important.
telling you on the phone, like if the government really had it against Trump, there would be another 9/11, and they would blame it on the fact that
They
the
would.
TSA agents aren't there,
You're
or
not
that a
wrong.
lot of them are, and they're like, so look, if we would have had, yeah. So yeah, I mean, and people should get paid, and all. I'm all for it. But if this was a legit, like, complete shutdown, like we weren't getting mail, there was no
would be hell
trash
to pay.
service,
There really would.
like that I could see. That would be a catastrophe. If we were to keep going like we're going now, the average person probably wouldn't really notice it. Like, oh yeah, we're going to go to Yosemite. Yeah, I guess not. I'll go to Vegas.
I don't think like the average person, because there are some people right now, I mean, they do live paycheck to paycheck. Simply because since the first of the year happened, it has been discovered that with all the things that Trump has done with insurance, 7,000 people in the state of Kansas, their insurance went up by at least $600 because of pre-existing conditions. And that's just in the state of Kansas.
Well, and
so
that's
that did happen.
That's probably because also the premiums are going to go up too. Because
Well, a
the-
lot of
the
insurance
Trump administration
companies are
didn't-
dropping you because of these.
yeah,
Since
well,
it's
and,
now legal.
and because Trump didn't pay his bill or pay the bill he's supposed to pay, the premiums are going to be like incredibly high too.
But those people who weren't expecting that, because, why would Trump lie? So they are having more issues. Most people, you are correct, probably won't feel this. It's probably not going to be a big deal. Like, I don't think it's going to affect.
what I'm
do you know
saying,
what I
like,
mean?
if this goes on for an entire year, which
It's
is
not gonna
unheard of,
affect
it's
me.
super unheard of. But like,
you probably won't feel the
yeah,
effects.
exactly.
I don't think Cody will. I won't feel the effects. Now, next year, it could be a little tight. We might have some issues. But people who don't make the amount of money that we do, they're hurting. I mean, there's going to be issues. There's people
Yeah.
who, and you've got to think with the way the insurance, especially some of the people not getting SSI, in the last 2 years, there's been at least 10 people I know who went on disability. The one person I know goes to dialysis 3 days a week. How are you going to get there with the government shut
No,
down?
and I get.
I mean,
all of
there's
that. I
people
do.
that are hurting, but most people, they probably don't really care.
But like the whole tax return thing that we're talking about.
They're,
I mean, is it going? Yeah.
no, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal unless you completely depend on your tax return to
I
pay
think it's
your
going to be a
bills.
big deal. I'm pissed about it. I
So,
want my tax return.
4 hours ago, Bloomberg released IRS will pay tax refunds during shutdown, easing the pressure for a deal.
Cool.
So I mean, every time I kind of think like part of it is going to be an issue, it's not an issue. And they're like, oh, it's just a partial shutdown, so this isn't included. So what's really all included in the shutdown, and doesn't matter? Like,
I don't think it's really going to affect people until maybe next month. If this continues, by next month, people in the last 2 years, they're going to be complaining.
no, I
There's
get, and
no
I
WIC.
get that. I get that. Well,
There's
there
no
is
food.
WIC. There is WIC.
They've cut it back, though. There's barely food stamps going out. These people who depend on like medical and the pharmacy and those things, yeah, they're going to be complaining by next month.
Well, and
but right now, it's not a big deal to anybody.
even the food stamps, it's like it's more of a state thing,
exactly.
which isn't covered in partial. So it's it's fine. It's not affected by a partial shutdown. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, every time I think that there's a level of something that's going to affect, then I
No.
find out no, it's not. So like, what, we can't go to like our national parks, which is it's shitty.
I guess.
But like,
So I mean, I would give it at least a good 6 months before people are like, hey, this is kind of fucked up. You know, in 6 months, there could be a huge issue. That's if we don't have a wall in 6 months.
and I don't even know if I would say huge. Really? I mean, I don't know if it's big.
I mean, I feel bad for the IRS right now, but because they have nothing to do, they're looking into the military and the people that are getting paid because they found $13.2 million that went to people apparently.
But I guess what I'm asking, or what I'm saying is I keep finding out that it's not every government job.
It's not.
There's a lot of them that are still getting paid.
Until
That's where I'm like, well, I thought that was, they
So-
weren't going to be paid. Like, I talked to, like, a police officer, a sheriff. So it's like, you have a government job. Oh, yeah, I'm still getting paid. Teachers are still getting paid.
But I mean,
The
it's only
mailman?
a partial.
My mailman, he's still getting paid. So, like, if the
If we went to like a half shutdown, there could be issues.
Right, which
Because
we
isn't
won't.
half the government and the police departments?
I don't know. I have no idea. Obviously, I don't know what's in the jurisdiction of a partial either, but like, I just thought there would be like all this. Not that I'm like on the side of a shutdown. I'm just open-endingly asking, like, is it that big a deal? I don't know. Like,
More
I'm
of a-
kind of like, I don't think it is.
Right? I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, some of it matters, of course.
If Cody does not get his tax return, he's
I'm
gonna
gonna be
go.
high pissed.
He's gonna go on a shooting spree.
Well, I don't know about that, but
yeah, maybe not announce that.
yeah.
That was going to be a surprise. Anyway, that does it for us. We will be back Wednesday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Check us out on Revolution Radio on Facebook and Revolution Radio channel on YouTube. Check me out, Jay Dillon, Jaydyllan on Facebook.
Did you just sing that?
I don't know.
You kind of did.
What do you guys got?
Nothing.
Jesus Christ.
Nothing at all.
You got Jesus Christ?
Cody Vogus on Facebook, Magnus Apex on Twitter.
I am Tanya Marie Buentello on Facebook and at Yahoo. Contact me if you have questions, comments, concerns, or if you just want to tell me I'm a stupid woman.
Oh, I'm going to tell you you're a stupid woman right now because I just gave you
I don't care.
room for a plug, and you're like, I got nothing. Then
I
you
know.
followed your.
I did.
I know.
Do you know how a plug works? Whatever. Anyway,
Are you going to read your lines?
no. Why?
I'm just asking.
I don't even have any lines.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
Anyway, we will see you guys Wednesday.